Should be live. Let me check the screen, make sure.
Hey, brother.
All right, yeah, we good, bro. All right. First and foremost, we'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham,
Yahweh,
Yahweh.
Shem, Yahushua,
Yahweh
Hashem, Kodash,
Kodash.
Yeah, that's why Apostle GMS will rule, will teach, will being great example to his younger brothers, and peace and blessings salutations to the hopeful elect after pushing the word of truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh, Mount Shai, pushing to get up out of here. So I want the hopeful the believers, the listeners that have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh by Shemal Shai, man. You know, back again, all right, my brother Yashima from GMS Mississippi camp. You know, you got the brother Karab, you know, the brother Anah, the brother Yakanan, the brother Kazamat, you know, GMS Memphis camp, you know, got the brother Kodar, all right, brother out of Chicago, all right. So what we have, you know, is we've been going through our series, you know, the evolution of Christianity, you know, showing you how, all right, the Christianity that our people follow has nothing to do with the Bible, and the way that Christianity has destroyed the mind, all right, our people have been slaughtered under the name of Christianity, you know, and our people, you know, just have been in a mental captivity, you know, under this whole Christianity kick that has nothing to do with the Bible, man. You know, and we're gonna go and just improve. We're gonna prove, you know, when the curse is who we are, which we did this time and time before, you know, but we understand we have new listeners, you know, so go back and revisit these things, you know, for the elect's sake, man. You know, so our people have a clear understanding, you know, the elect can have a clear understanding and be fully persuaded, you know, within their own mind of what they believe in, man. And the reason why we believe how we believe, man. You know, so it's Deuteronomy, bro, and then I'm gonna get this article. You got it, bro.
All right, this Deuteronomy 28 and 68. It says, "And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships."
Yep.
By the way, what you say?
No, you got it.
Okay. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
And no man shall buy you, all right, which means no man shall redeem you out of this situation, man. You know, so we were sold to our enemies, all right, and we was brought, all right, into the land of our captivities by the way of ships, man. You know, and that's a very heavy scripture because it uses the way that we will be brought into captivity was through ships. You know, and if you study the transatlantic slave trade, all right, the bulk, all right, millions and millions, all right, of our people was brought over here by the way of ships, man. And even when you go into the northern kingdom, all right, the tribes that was in the islands and the Central and North America, they was brought into Europe by the way of ships, man, in Spain, you know, Portugal, you see, by the way of ships, man. So this whole that curse, all right, was over all the tribes, man. You know, and we're going to go into some history. All right, so the first article we're going to deal with, all right, is it's from the Black Citizen. Let me go to it. You know, which brothers know, all right, what they call the good ship Jesus. And the article is called the good ship Jesus, the beginning of the slave trade. Now, me and the brothers, you know, we had a class last week, and when you go into, you know, when slaves started being transferred from, you know, Africa, you know, into America, you know, the Portuguese jumped it off, you know, bringing slaves, you know, from different colonies that they had in Africa and bringing them over here to they newly conquered colonies over here in the what you call the America, you know, which consists of those islands, you know, what you call the Dominican Republic and Haiti, you know, Cuba, you know, Central America, in South America, man. You know, but Portuguese was transporting, people, what they call Africans, which you know as Americans, which you're gonna get that article as well. I mean, as Israelites, all right. They would call them African, but they were Israelites. They were transporting, from the African colonies, all right, that Portugal had, and they were transporting them to the different islands, the Caribbeans, you know. But then you had the good ship Jesus, all right, which you're gonna get into it, and it's going to the guy, all right, who was the general of that ship, and it says Hawkins, a cousin of Sir Francis Drake, was granted permission from Queen Elizabeth for his first voyage in 1562. He was allowed to carry African Americans with their own free consent, and it's going to tell you why it's with their own consent, you know. And it says, and he agreed to these conditions. Hawkins had a reputation for being a religious man who required his crew to serve God daily and to love one another. Sir Francis Drake accompanied Hawkins on this voyage and the subsequent others. Drake was himself devoutly religious. Services were held on the board twice a day, man. And that's why you see why Apostle Hart called this Christianity that our people worship and follow is plantation Christianity, man. All right? You had Edomites spoon feeding you, Christianity, why you on the damn slave ship, man? And making you false promises, man. Just like they doing today, making you false promises, man. What does Jake do? Eat it up. And Esau leads you niggas in captivity every time, man. You niggas fall for the double reverse every time, man. It says off the coast of Africa near Sierra Leone, and Sierra Leone, all right, is in the region of what they call the slave coast over off the west coast of Africa, man. It said Hawkins captured 300 to 500 slaves, mostly plundering Portuguese ships. So he was actually stealing slaves from the Portuguese ships, which we spoke about the Portuguese, how they was already transporting, different citizens of their colonies, that they controlled into the New World and putting them in them sugarcane fields in the Caribbeans, man. It said, but also through violence and subterfuge, promising Africans free land and riches in the New World. And that's what Esau from the promise you niggas today, man. All right, riches within the New World Order. You got all these stimulus packages that the government supposed to be working on, and the spirit just hit me as I'm reading is that this nigga doing the same thing, man, in the name of Jesus, man. And it says he sold most of the slaves in what is now known as the Dominican Republic. He returned home with a profit of ships laden with ivory, hides, and sugar. Thus began the slave trade, man. So the good ship Jesus had a big part in the beginning of the captivity, of the southern tribes, man. Benjamin, Judah, and Levi, man, coming off the west coast, man. Y'all brothers had any precepts?
I got something up.
Come on, you gotta bring it out, bro.
This is Baruch 4 and verse 6 and 7. It says, "You were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because you moved the Most High to wrath, you were delivered unto the enemies.
Yeah,
for you provoked him."
We were delivered to the enemies, man. That's why the Lord had what we were so easily, what we was able to be conquered, as a nation, man. Because Esau, all right, wasn't a stronger nation. He wasn't a smarter nation, but it was for prophecy's sake, because I disobedience, man. You got it, bro.
Verse 7, "For ye provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils and not unto your power."
Sacrificing unto devils, which a lot of this witchcraft, when you go down there to New Orleans, a lot of that voodoo and witchcraft, that New Orleans is known for. That's because those Levite tribes that was in Africa, they brought that over to, all right, from being around Ham, man. All right, they learned that from being around him, man. That voodoo and witchcraft and the witch doctor and all that madness, man. You see, and the Lord punished our people for that, man. You know, even the Northern Kingdom, they was into human sacrifice. You know, they was worshiping the creatures. You know, the great bear, the eagle. You know, they worshiping different animals. You know, and the Lord allowed those conquistadors to have their way, man. You know, and to take those different empires down as we studied, man. You know, but I got any other brother had precept?
Yeah, I got precepts out.
Yeah, bring it out, bro.
It's just back in the curses, Deuteronomy 28. I'm gonna jump down. 32. It say thy sons and thy daughters shall be given to another people, and thy eyes should look and feel with longing from there all the day long, and there should be no might in thy hand.
Yeah, you know, because you have families constantly being separated, man. Because the father and the daughter might get captured, you know, and the mother, you know, don't get captured, you know, and they took your family across the earth, man. You know, that's the situation that was going on, man. Then when you get here, you might get sold to different plantations, man. And there was nothing, you know, our people could do about it, you know, because we forsook our power. You know, he forsook us, you know.
Yeah.
We walked contrary to him, so he walked contrary to us, man. You know, and Esau was allowed, you know, to have his way, you know, but Esau took it too far. What you gonna get into that in a minute?
Yeah, the Most High took the Holy Spirit away from us.
Yeah, he turned us down, man.
Yeah, but I got two more scriptures. I'm gonna jump down.
You got.
Deuteronomy 28:47. Because thou servest not the Lord Yahweh thy power with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things. Therefore shall thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, and hunger and the thirst and the nakedness and want of all things. He shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
Done. And you know you got that famous picture with Jake with that yoke of iron around his neck, you know, with the 4-point on them, man. You know, and he did that till he destroyed us, man, because he destroyed the mindset of our people. You know, our people destroyed. Now he don't have to put a yoke of iron around his neck because it's around Jake's mind now. You know, Jake through, man. Jake ain't no threat. All right, trying to come together and form a nation. You know, only the elect, only the house of David is in that mindset, man. But our people that's outside it, you know, they not no threat, man, because the Lord allowed Esau to completely destroy them with that incurable wound, man. You know, matter of fact, Quran, you get Jeremiah 30 and start at 12. You had something else, Allah?
No,
I got one real quick.
But I was just thinking about that scripture when it said Jacob is a homeborn slave, you know, because Jake still got that slave mentality.
Yep.
You know?
I got one for you real quick, Ayash.
You got it.
All right, this Psalms 106, 36, starting at verse 36. It says, and they served their idols, which were a snare unto them. It says, yea, they sacrificed their sons and their daughters unto devils, and shed innocent blood, even the blood of their sons and of their daughters, whom they sacrificed unto the idols of Canaan. Going back, you know, how you were saying that them Hamites, man, you know, our people always had a strong connection to them Hamites, man, and they idols, you know, even to this day, you know, America is known as what? Babylon the Great, you know, which those were Hamitic people, man, you know. So those idols always had a stronghold on our people. And when them conquistadors came to West Africa, all right, a lot of our people was over there doing, like you say, that voodoo. A lot of those voodoo customs that they brought over here to the Americas came from Africa, man. You know.
Yep. And that's why like I say, New Orleans got that heavy, voodoo spirit on them, man. Jake responsible for that, man. Because when you go into the origin of it, man, with dealing with the French, it really was a nigga woman, who got that slavery jumped off like that. I mean that witchcraft, really jumping, man. It was a slave woman and one of those Catholic priests, down there in New Orleans, man. When I was in the restaurant down there in New Orleans, I had read it on the back of the on the menu. I should have screenshot it, but it went into how it was one of them slave women and one of them Catholic priests, that really got their voodoo culture jumped off in New Orleans, man.
Yep. I got a little bit more.
Go ahead, bro.
Hey, just jumping to verse 40. It said, therefore was the wrath of the Lord kindled against his people, in so much that he abhorred his own inheritance, and he God. Yep. You can expound. If you want to say something real quick, you go expound on it.
Nah, you can finish it, then I'll make the point. Okay.
Okay, this is the last part. It say, and he gave them into the hand of the heathen, and they that hated them ruled over them.
And they that hated them ruled over them, man. That's why that happened, man. Because our people ask a lot of why questions, but the Bible tells you, man, the reason why Esau was able to rule over you the way that he did and the way that he's doing to this day is because of our disobedience, man. We went after the way of the heathen, so the Lord gave us over to the heathen, man. Since you want to follow their custom and worship them, let me take my protection off of you. Let me take my spirit off of you, and let's see how it turn out, man. Let's see how they work out for you, man. Matter of fact, I think it's one of Deuteronomy 32. I'm gonna try to find real quick, the Lord said them exact words, man. I see that's why the elect had a mindset of repentance, man. Because we know what disobedience led to, man. We reading about the disobedience led to the good ship of Jesus, man.
32 and 20.
32 and 16.
No, it's another one. It's in that chapter. It talks about no, it's 20. It started, man. Yeah, start at 17 and read down. If a brother got it, start at 17 and read down.
You want me to get it?
Yeah, you can get it, bro.
Go ahead, Yakana.
All right. It's Deuteronomy 32 and 17. It says they sacrifice unto devils, not to the Most High, to gods whom they knew not, to new gods that came nearly up, whom your father feared not.
Yeah, go ahead.
It says, of the rock that begat thee, thou art unmindful, and hast forgotten the Most High that formed thee.
Yeah, so we forgot the Most High that formed us. That did all these great miracles for us. That they ransomed us out of Egypt. They delivered us out of Egypt with great power, with great glory. And we forgot that and went the horn after the gods of these nations, man. And that provoked Yahweh Shai to anger, man. Go ahead, bro.
It says, and when the Lord saw it, he abhorred them because of the provoking of his sons and of his daughters.
And we go to the word abhorred. It means he avoided us, man. He wasn't fooling with us like that, man. It's like when someone calling you and you not answering, you abhorring them, man. You know where they gonna be at, so you don't even go their way no more. You abhorring them, you intentionally avoiding them, man. And that's what the Lord did to us, man. For our disobedience. Go ahead, bro.
It says, and he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be.
Yep. Hey, the Lord said he will hide his face, which is his knowledge, his wisdom and understanding, his protection, man. You know? So the Lord said he gonna hide his face from us, and we're gonna see how this turned out. You know, we're gonna see how it turned out, you know, going y'all way, man. Cause y'all wanna do you, all right, do you, let's see how it go. You know, and it led to the good ship Jesus. All right. Getting your head beat to sleep, you know, yeah, ripped apart, you know, from limb to limb, babies torn out the women's stomach, you know, the conquistadors working your ass to death, trying to have you mind gold. If you didn't get the quota, they cut your hands off, you know, and many more atrocities, you know, that they was treating the Northern Kingdom like dog food, man. You know, they chop them up and feed them to dogs, man. You know, but that's the end of disobedience, man. You know, the Lord had to prove a point, man. That's why slavery was so harsh like it was. That was the Most High proving the point, man. You know, you finished that 20, bro.
It says, for they are very forward generation, children in whom is no faith.
Hey, children in whom is no faith, man. You see, and that's why in this time, this same generation, you know, that has no faith, you know, the Lord gonna let Esau to go mayhem again. The Most High finna prove another point. That's what Jake don't understand. The Most High finna prove another point, man. So ain't no telling, hey, we say it's gonna get bad, man, but we only more than men, man. What the Most High want to do, like he angry, like we can get mad and we can think of some stuff, but the Most High, you know, he finna prove a point in the earth, man. You know, and it's just directed to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, man. You know, you tribes, man, and you Israelite foreigners, you know, who look like the other nations. All right, but your spirit resonates with this word, man. You know, I'm gonna go from there. I'm gonna get this another article from the middle passage, and we get some more precept. Let me Karab, you can hear it, bro? Yeah, why your phone like it low? All right, so this is from the Britannica, and this is going into the middle passage. All right, a brother get Isaiah 22:17, and another brother get Baruch 4 and 26.
I got the Baruch.
All right, come. So going to the middle passage, all right, and it says the middle passage, the forced voyage of enslaved Africans across the Atlantic Ocean to the New World. It was one leg of the triangular trade route that took goods such as knives, guns, ammunition, cotton, cloth, tools, and brass dishes from Europe to Africa. All right, so just explaining the triangular slave trade. You know, the triangular trade, you know, what you went over last week. All right, you will have Europe was seeing knives, guns, ammunition, you know, cotton, cloth, tools, and brass dishes, you know, different goods to Africa. All right, and in turn, all right, the ship would pick up slaves and not take them back to Europe, but take them through the Middle Passage. All right, what they call the Middle Passage from the coast of Africa, you know, to the Americas, you know, and they would drop those slaves off, and then they would pick up goods, you know, from the Americas and take it back to Europe, and they kept that trade going, you know, for centuries, man. You know, so it was one leg of the triangular trade route that took goods such as knives, guns, ammunition, cotton, cloth, tools, and brass dishes from Europe to Africa. Africans to work as slaves in the Americas and West Indies, and items, mostly raw materials produced on the plantations: sugar, rice, tobacco, indigo, rum, and cotton. You know, and that's why you see, you know, that plantation rum, you know, it be from where? Barbados, you know, Jamaica, you know, Trinidad, you know, those part of it, those part of those cash crops, man. You know, and it says sugar, rice, tobacco, indigo, rum, and cotton back to Europe from about 1518 to the mid 19th centuries. Millions of African men, women, and children made the 21 to 90-day voyage abroad, grossly overcrowded sailing ships manned by crews mostly from Great Britain, the Netherlands, Portugal, and France. All right, and it says all right, and those are all Edomite nations, man. You know, and that's why you see it. Yep, come. You know, and show part of the beast, man. You know, and it says slave captains anchored chiefly off the Guinea coast, also called the Slave Coast, for a month to a year to trade for their cargoes of 150 to 600 persons, most of whom had been kidnapped and forced to march to the coast under wretched conditions. So you have, you know, they would catch slaves inland and they would have to march, you know, sometimes, you know, a lot of miles, you know, to even get to their coast, you know, to those different docks where those boats was at, man. You know, so Jake was catching hell, man. But once again, the Most High was proving the point, man. You know, it said while at the anchor and after departure from Africa, those aboard the ship were exposed to almost continuous dangers, including raids at port by hostile tribes, epidemics, attacks by pirates or enemy ships. You know, which you had the good ships. Jesus, you know, steals slaves from the Portuguese, you know, and that was an example. And bad weather, although these events affected the ship's crew as well as the enslaved, they were more devastating to the latter group, who had also to cope with physical, sexual, and psychological abuse at the hands of their captors, despite or perhaps in part because of the conditions aboard ship. Some Africans who survived the initial horror of captivity revolted. Those slaves were kept constantly shackled to each other or to the deck to prevent immunity, of which 55 detailed accounts were recorded between 1699 and 1845. So the largest possible cargo might be carried. The captives were wedged below decks, chained to low-lying platforms stacked in tiers with an average individual space allotment that was 6 feet long, 16 inches wide, you know, and that's a very tight space, man, you know, because your shoulders, like you said, your shoulders might be 2 feet or more. Then, you know, back then, Jake was real stocky, you know. Jake probably had 30-inch shoulders from width to width, man, you know. And they had to cram up in 1 foot 4 inch, you know, space, man, you know. And then perhaps 3 feet high, unable to stand erect or turn over, many slaves died in this position. If bad weather or equilateral comes prolong the journey, the twice-day ration of water plus either boiled rice, millet, cornmeal, or stewed yams was greatly reduced, resulting in near starvation and attendant illnesses. You know, so when you go to Romans, I'll read this real quick, then we'll get those. When you go to Romans 13 and 10, because the main thing that Christianity pushes is love. You know, the main thing, you know, they push the brother. You hear Edomites come out there, they talk about love this and love that. You know, when they used to come out to the camps or whatever, they come on the comment board. Everybody's on this love. You know, what Romans 13 and 10 say. It said love, this Romans 13 and 10, it said love worketh no ill to his neighbor, therefore love is the fulfilling of the law. So it said love worketh no ill towards his neighbor, but there was nothing but ill shown to our people, man. You know, this kind of slavery, you know, was the most slavery ever recorded in history, man. You know, it was the most unmerciful slavery ever recorded in history, man. You know, and that's why, you know, in Daniel, I'll get there real quick. Y'all had a point to make.
I was just thinking about Daniel. What you
I went to the book of Daniel.
Yeah. I was just thinking about that.
What'd you say, bro?
I said I just went to the book of Daniel.
Okay.
But I had one to Joel.
Okay, yeah, get that in Daniel 9:12. Yes, get Daniel 9:12, bro.
Oh, you want me to get Daniel 9:12?
I got it out.
I'll go ahead.
It's Daniel 9:12. It says, can I start at 11 out? I just want to get straight to it. Josh.
Yeah, read 12. Yeah, you got it.
Okay. This
Daniel.
Can you hear
me? Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
Okay, Daniel 9:12. It say, and he hath confirmed his words, which he spake against us and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven hath not been done as hath been done upon Jerusalem.
Yeah, it said under heaven have not been done as what has been done to Jerusalem, man. You know, hey, and this recording, man, we're reading recorded history, man. You know, what slaves were made to walk, you know, miles and miles to the coast, and then when they get to the coast, put on these boats, crammed in these boats with these harsh conditions, you know, and then when they get over here, catch hell, man. You know, what other nation has this recorded? All right, within history, man. You see, showing us who we are, man. You know, the prophecies show who we are, man. And Jake, you know, he has this nigga, you know, what's his name, Carl, right? All right, this Christian said there's no absolute proof, you know, that we are the Israelites, man. The prophecy is the absolute proof, man. And you got to have faith, you know. But at the end of the day, like I say, it ain't for, you know, the majority, you know, to get it, man. You know. So
I got a quick one now.
You got it.
This jumping to Daniel chapter 12, verse 10. It say, many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand.
Yep. Hey, because this ministry, you know, the Lord is calling, you know, those who are wise and Yahweh Bashim al-Shai, man. You know, those spirits predestined, man. And the wicked, Esau, Edom not gonna understand, and the wicked of our people not gonna understand, man. You know, because they have the mindset of a damn Edomite, man. You know, hey, y'all can know back in.
I got one up.
Get that hold yours real quick, bro. Get that Isaiah. Get that Isaiah 22:17. Y'all can know. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, get that Isaiah 22:17, bro.
Okay. All right, you said 22:7 and 17?
Yeah, Isaiah 22:17.
All right, this Isaiah 22, verse 17, it says, behold, the Lord will carry thee away with a mighty captivity, and will surely cover thee.
Yep, the Lord carried us away with a mighty captivity, man. You know, he put emphasis on this captivity because we as a people, we went through captivity before, but the Lord put an emphasis on this one, man. You know, you got it, bro.
All right. It says, he will surely violently turn and toss thee like a ball into a large country.
Yep.
There
He
shall
said he
thou,
would. He said he would toss thee and turn thee like a ball into a large country, man. You know, and we just read, you know, how that middle passage, you know, how crucial, how gruesome them trips was, man. You know, you in that ship, you being tossed by the storm, and then you in that little ass tight space, man. You know, you had Jake died in them little tight spaces, man, for not being able to move, starving to death. You know, they was tossed to and fro like a ball, man, in those ships, man, in the Atlantic, man. You know, that was us, man. You got it, bro.
it says, there shalt thou die, and there the chariots of glory shall be the shame of thy Lord's house.
Hey, the chariots of our glory, all right, which is going to the second Exodus, shall be the shame of our lords, all right, with this lowercase lord was going to Esau Edom, which is he ruled over us, all right. But see, that's gonna be the disappointment because another definition, you know, for ashamed in the Hebrew, one of the words is disappointment. You see, the chair is gonna disappoint Esau and everything we built up off the back of the slaves, man. You know, he brought us over here bouncing us like a ball in the damn sea, you know, but the chariots of our glory, all right, which is gonna be led by your house shy, is gonna be his disappointment, man. You know? You got yours, young man. I mean, not. And then
I had a precept to
get that Baruch Charles Mark. And then we get yours, man.
This Joel 3, I'm gonna start at 2.
Yep.
I will also gather all nations and will bring them down to the valley of Yehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. And they have cast lots of my people and have given a boy for a harlot and sold a girl for wine that they may drink.
Yep. And they were going back into what? That triangle's trade, man. You know? Because our people being traded out for wrong, you know. Then you had, you know, Esau a pedophile. He was actually having little boys, you know, sex toys, you know. He was just trade. It was just a trade, man. Everything was just a trade, man. You know, whatever you wanted, and the slaves were the highest commodity on within this trade, man. You see, so keep reading though, bro, because it go into the article you see.
Keep going on that.
Yeah, because it go into the article you had sent me, bro.
Oh yeah, come. Joel 3 and 4. Yeah, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coasts of Palestine, where ye render me a recompense?
Yeah, because you go into Tyre and Zidon, those are Hamitic. That's a Hamitic people. You know, those are Hamitic people. You know, you got it, bro.
And if you recompense me swiftly and speedily, well, I will turn your recompense upon your own head.
Yeah, so the Lord is finna recompense these heathen nations, man. You know, because there's nothing they can do. You know, they can buy off their judgment, man. All right, they're gonna be judged for what they done, and we're gonna get this article. Then we're gonna get some more precept. Get y'all brother precept. It said the Atlantic. This is from the perfectman.org. All right, and it says the Atlantic slave trade or transatlantic slave trade took place across the Atlantic Ocean from the 16th through the 19th century. The vast majority of slaves transported to the New World, according to written history, were not native Africans from central and western and eastern parts of the continent. In fact, these people have been historically proven to be descendants of early Hebrews that had migrated from Arabia and Egypt, Israel and Ethiopia, and into the and Ethiopia into West Africa. Now, what I want you to do, bro, is not get Luke 21 and 24.
It's Luke 21 and 24.
So Yahweh Shai even prophesied of this, man. You know, if you can receive it, you got it, bro.
It said, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword and shall be led away captive to all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
So we talk about 70 AD when we were trodden down by the sword, all right, at the hand of the Romans, going back to Vespasian, you know, and Titus, you know, when they invaded, you know, Jerusalem, you know, when they seized and invaded Jerusalem. But what did the Lord tell our people to do? To flee into the mountains. And y'all brothers remember we went into those mountains, the Atlas Mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah, when our people fled, you know, into the interior of Africa, you know, mainly in the northern and western part of Africa, man, you see fleeing in Roman persecution. But the Lord said the Roman persecution was going to lead to us getting carried away captive into all nations, man. You know, this is what he was talking about. So Yahweh Shai prophesied about this, man. You know, and because it said these people were attacked and sold by native African tribes and Muslims to European slave traders who then transported them to North and South and Central America. To further prove this statement, I have obtained written records from Arab and Muslim writers, and also maps are shown geographical locations of Hebrew cities and kingdoms that were later the patronage of the Duke of Orleans, revised and improved by Mr. Bolton, and another medieval African map called Negro Land in adjacent countries, also Upper Guinea, showing the principal European settlements and distinguishing by Eamon Bowen, you know. So it's well known facts within history, you know, that the people that were being carried away captive, you know, were not native, all right, what they call Africans, man, you know, but people that had migrated and were descended of Hebrews. Man. Now you had Hamites, you know, that sold us into captivity, you know, but you also had some of, you know, the Israelites that had different empires down there in Africa that were selling, you know, rival, you know, Israelite tribes as well, man. You know, but the Hamites, they had a big part, you know, in helping round us up into captivity, man. And that's why I said Tyree and Zion, what you gonna do to recompense me, man? You know, so the Most High, like, you know what you did, though. How you gonna pay that back? You know? So matter of fact, keep reading. It's gonna tell you who they showed us too, man. Go ahead, bro. Read that Joel 3. Go back to Joel 3, bro.
I'll go back to Jordan. I had that desolation abomination too.
Yeah, we're gonna get that too, bro.
Back in Joel 3 and 5, because ye have taken my silver and my gold and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. The treasure also of Judah and the treasure of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from the borders.
Yeah, so you sold us to the Grecians, man. These damn Europeans, man. All right, the British, the French, you know, and Portuguese, you know, and the Netherlands, man. You know, because they were descended of those Edomite Greeks, you know. That was it on that, bro. You get yours on Yakananda, you get yours talking about, and then you can get that what you had, bro.
All right. This is Exodus 21 and 16. Right. Y'all see me?
Yeah, we see, bro.
All right. It's Exodus 21:16. It says, and he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death.
Yep. And Esau will be judged according to the law, man. You know, because we're going to be found in his hands at the return, you know, of Yahweh, man. You know, and he will receive a lot of these Edomites will receive their death, man. You know, you got Tyler Mott.
All right, this is in Baruch 4 and 26. It says, my delicate ones have gone rough ways and were taken away as a flock caught of the enemies.
Come on, man. So who is that, man? What nation fulfilled that prophecy, man? All these prophecies that we fulfill, but Jake still saying, "Oh, it ain't no absolute proof," you know. But then you got the Jews, that's the so-called Jews, you know, the Amalekites that's in the land, you know, chilling, posted up, you know, and they ain't got to show no proof. They just over there, yeah, this us, you know. They
Right.
had on, you know, and this us put on all black, you know, and they get to be the people, all right, with no question, man, you know. But we fulfill all these prophecies in the scriptures, you know, and then you still had that doubt, man. But it was written for it to be like that, man, you know. But the elect see it plainly, man. You know, this is confirming our faith, man. Just hearing it, man, confirming our faith, man.
Yeah. And they call themselves Jewish. You know what I'm saying? Ish mean to be like. You know what I'm saying? So they just trying to be like the Jews.
Yeah. No throne of David. You know, no empire. You know, the world chaos. You know. Come on, man.
I got another quick one up.
All right, bro.
These are Revelations 2, 2 and 9. It says, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are of the synagogue of Satan.
Yeah, and that's plain, man. You know, that's plain. In this time, man, that these Amalekites fit that bill, man, because that's the chief house of Satan on the earth, man. You know, this new world order that they pushing for, this new world order agenda that they pushing to set up, it's under the guise of Satan, man. You know, it's under the guise of the adversary, man. They're complete adverse, you know, to righteousness, man. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you know, they'll question us all day long, 24/7, 365 days, 366 in a leap year about the 12 tribes chart, but they don't have nothing to say to them over there in their land, question their identity and question their heritage, you know, and question who they are according to the Bible. And it's clearly not adding up, you know, in the scriptures about the people of Israel being in that land and there's not being no more wars on earth, man.
Yeah.
And it's wars all over the earth. And ever since they got in that land, it's been wars multiplied on the earth, man.
Yeah, they supposed to, according to the prophecy, you know. Matter of fact, let's get it. Ezekiel 39 started at 8, bro. You know, prophecy tell everything. That's why people don't want to deal with prophecy, man. You know,
yep.
You can swindle. You can try to swindle, you know, and make a doctrine out of words like all and whosoever, you know, and everybody. You know, the word world. You know, they can make a doctrine out of those words and not have the meaning or the context of who's being addressed. But see, when you go to prophecy, see the prophecy clear cut. You can't escape the prophecy, man. The prophecy say what they say. Prophecy put a name on it, man. You know.
Yep.
Yeah, get the Ezekiel 39. I want to hold on, make sure. I think it's 8 though. Ezekiel 39 and
7.
Yeah, start at 7. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Yeah, start at 7, bro.
Okay, this is Ezekiel 39:7. It says, "So will I make my holy name known in the midst of my people Israel, and I will not let them pollute my holy name anymore. And the heathen shall know that I am the Lord, the Holy One in Israel."
Yeah, and this is future prophecy. This ain't happening yet, man. You see, the prophecy put names on everything, man. Let you know direct who's being addressed, man. The Lord gonna be in the midst of Israel, and the heathen gonna know that in that day, man. You know. But see, they go to the New Testament and makes it seem like the New Testament triumphs the Old Testament, and like everything in the Old Testament has been fulfilled, and we on to something else now. No, man.
Yeah.
All right, the Old Testament still has prophecies that haven't been fulfilled, man. You know, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, that's convenient for them.
Yep.
It's verse 8. It says, "Behold, it is come, and it is done, said the Lord Yahweh power. This is the day whereof I have spoken. And they that dwell in the city of Israel shall go forth and shall set on fire and burn the weapons, both the shields and the bucklers, the bows and the arrows, and the handstaves and the spears, and they shall burn them with fire 7 years."
So if those are the real people in the land of Israel, that means all the weapons on earth supposed to be burned, man. You know, but you have right now in this day and time, the earth ain't never been more weaponized, man.
God.
You know? You got Jake in 7th grade with a little scrap in the book bag, man.
Yeah.
You know, so how do they fulfill prophecy, man? When they say the weapons gonna be burnt, man. You know, and showing that and proving that this is an end day prophecy. And not get Isaiah 2:1, man. You know,
God. God.
it's gonna show you the prophecy saying the same thing, and it's dealing with the same people, man. You know, come on, man.
This Isaiah 2:1.
Yep.
It said the word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And this should come to pass in the last days.
On the last days, you know. So remember the prophecy you just read where the weapons gonna be burnt up. You know, the missiles, the tanks, the helicopters, the handguns, the AK, the Draco. All right, ain't gonna be no Draco in the kingdom, man. You know, you got it, bro.
Isaiah 2:2, and this should come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house should be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it.
So that's the mountain, which is the government of Israel, will be exalted, will be established, will be glorified in the earth, you know, and all nations will flow into it, man. Which means all nations will be influenced by the nation of Israel and righteousness, man. You see? Go ahead, bro.
And many people should go and say, "Come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord Yahweh, to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion should go forth the law in the word of the Lord Yahweh Shah from Jerusalem."
And this not happening, man. The people, all right, they call themselves the Jews. You know, these so-called Jews, man, they own Hollywood, which push nothing but filth, you know, homosexuality, you know, just pedophilia, you know, they pushing drugs, violence. They the ones that's causing them conflicts over there in that region, man. You know, these nations ain't flowing to those Israelis over there, man. You know, learning righteousness, man. You know, them Israelis, they shoot news reporters and everything, man. You know, them Palestinians catching hell over there, man.
Yeah.
You know, showing you that that's not the people, man. You got it, bro.
4, Isaiah 2:4, and he should judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they should beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up a sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore.
Neither shall they learn war anymore, man. Why? Because the weapons gonna be burnt, man, and they gonna be put into captivity. He's gonna be put into captivity, man. You know, and none of these things fulfilled. Them niggas been there since 1948, and them niggas ain't fulfilled nothing concerning the prophecies of the real people being back in the land, man. You
Right.
know. So hey, everything, the prophecy prove everything, man, and the history, the records, they prove it, man. You know,
Right.
like I say, but if you don't believe the word meant, man, you know, you had something, bro?
I had some, but I think the spill kind of changed. It was just going back on that article from perfectman.org.
Oh, okay, come. What going to, bro? What?
Exodus 11:7. I gonna get it.
Yeah, you do.
This Exodus 11:7. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how that the Lord they'll put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel.
Yeah, it's a difference, man. You know, and even in the end time prophecy, it's a difference between Israel and these damn Hamites, man. You know, because Jake still called himself African American, man. You know, so now they saying who the face of COVID-19, African Americans, man. You know, these damn Israelites, man. You know, but it's agenda against you. You know, but you get your Tazamak, and now you get Isaiah 40 and 17. That's 40 and I think it's 45 and 17, 45 and 15. Let me see. Yeah, started 14, bro.
I'm gonna get it right now.
Yeah, Tazma, you get yours. You got something I can know? Okay, come. You get yours, Tazma, and then you get the Isaiah 45 and start at 14. And Tazma, you get that Jeremiah 23 and 5, and then we get ready to close it. We'll end on that Revelation 13 and 9 and 10. But yeah, let's go ahead and get the last few. What you got, Tazma?
Jeremiah 23 and 5.
Come. And Revelation 13, 9, and 10, we ended on that Revelation. You had some, I thought you had something else,
Okay.
For me?
Nah, I ain't had nothing else.
Okay. Well, yeah, go ahead and get that Isaiah 45, because you remember, like you just read, it's a difference between Israel and the Egyptian, which Egyptian just represents the Hamites. But you got it, bro.
Well, Jake Connor, Jake still believe in this color thing. Jake still black. Like one part of time, all the nation was, dark skin.
Yeah. That hidden color shit.
Yeah. Lord put that difference by placing on his law, statutes, commandments on us, man. This Isaiah 45, and you said start 14?
Yep.
Isaiah 45:14, thus said the Lord Yahweh, the labor of Egypt and merchandise of Ethiopia and of the Sabines, man of stature, should come over unto thee, and there should be thine that should come after thee, and chains that should come over, and they should fall down unto thee. That should make supplication unto thee, saying, surely the Most High is in thee, and there is none else. There's no power.
Yeah, so that's the Lord gonna have these damn Hamites bound down, man. You know, because these Egyptians and Ethiopian and Sabians, them all Hamitic people, man. You know, Cush, Mizraim, and the Sabians. Let me look that up. See, do a show what tribe. All right. All right, the people of Seba. They don't show what tribe. Let me see. Yeah, they a Cush too.
That's Ham. Yeah.
Yeah, they a Cush. All right, so they descendants of Cush. So these damn Hamites. All right, they're gonna come bending over in chains, man. Just the same one that sold us. All right, in the captivity, they gonna come back to the chain, and they gonna say the Most High is with y'all. They're gonna be begging, This prophecy, man. You got
it. Go with that. What's that? Jeremiah 30:16. All our adversaries and enemies.
Every one of them.
Every one of them should go to captivity.
Every one of them.
Yeah. So you're not an Israelite. You going to captivity, man. Can you go on this Isaiah?
Yeah, come.
15. Verily there are the power that hideth thyself, O power of Israel, the Savior.
Yeah,
That should be
because they're gonna be like, you a power to hid yourself. You was with these people the whole time, and you just now showing yourself. You know, all the things that these people went through that we was allowed to do to them, and you just now showing yourself. Surely you a power and hide yourself, man. You know, that's how these heathens gonna be, man. You know, you got it, bro.
And he go with the Isaiah 47:6 with Esau. He ain't thinking about the latter end of it, you know.
Nah, he ain't thinking about the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
You know?
The apple of his eye.
Yeah, he was dunking on nigga. He was celebrating, you know, giving handshakes in the crowd, you know. He was balling. He ain't thinking about the fourth quarter, man.
Yeah. Hey, the strangeness of our salvation.
Yeah.
Hey, that's spirit. I was just looking for that too, bro.
That was a Solomon 5:1.
Okay, come on.
I'm gonna go back to Isaiah 45 and 16.
Yeah.
They should be ashamed and also confounded, all of them. That should go to confusion together that are makers of idols. But Israel should be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. You should not be ashamed nor confounded, war without end.
You should not be in the you should not. It said Israel should be saved with the everlasting salvation, and we not gonna be in the shame nor confounded world without end, man. You see, and that puts a name on John 3:16, man. You see, they can take John 3:16 as a New Testament and apply it to the whole planet Earth, man. You know, but when you go into the prophecy, now the prophecy is getting in detail. The prophecy is getting specific. You know, so you know exactly what the Lord is talking about, man. You see? Yeah, that was it, bro. You can get that. You want to get that wisdom of Solomon? You can break it down.
Yeah. I'm gonna start at 2 and then read down on it a little bit.
Yeah, you got it.
All right, this Wisdom of Solomon 5:2. It says, when they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for.
Yep.
That's what you were just talking about, bro. When they see it, man, they gonna be like, damn, these the people of the Lord. Like, man,
Yep.
Can't believe it. At verse 3, it says, and they repented and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision and a proverb of reproach. We fools accounted his life madness.
Yep.
And his end to be without honor.
Yeah, they ain't know what it was, man. You know, they ain't know they had the freaking kings of the earth in captivity, man.
That's it.
They ain't know that we in chains of darkness. But hey, the standard gonna get lifted and salvation coming, man. All right, you Edomites through, and Esau, I know you listening. You through, boy. All right?
Yeah, man.
They got a lot of work to do, man. You know, so you better enjoy. All right, your last few seconds in your kingdom under quarantine, get you some rest. All right, because you coming back working your ass off, man.
Right.
Hey, no Edomite should be on quarantine right now, man.
Yeah.
Be out there, man.
Yeah, y'all supposed to be living it up out here, man.
Supposed to be living it up according to Lamentations, the 4th chapter. You know, rejoice
Hey,
and be glad.
Hey, and then when you get pulled over, you gotta pull out the precept, the lamentation. You're like, look, man, it's over for us, Nick.
Yeah.
Part of it. But yep. Yeah, you Edomites got it coming though, man. All right. You damn devil, and you other heathens too, man. All you heathens finna go into captivity. All right, your ass finna work, you finna build, you know, brothers want their palaces and walkways made out of precious stone. All right.
Hey,
That's right.
hey, what Steve say on Django? He say, we gonna work you. You gonna turn big rocks into little. Yeah, you gonna be turning big rocks into little rocks.
Yeah. Hey, watch the resin. All right, you heathens, get ready. all right, to be farming their resin, getting it straight off that box flower tree. You know, that's where their frankincense come from. All right. You learn how to burn coals, how to make coals. All right, you heathen women. All right, you gonna learn how to burn coals. You gonna your ass going to work too, man. Everybody finna do this, you know.
That's right, bro.
Hey, you had
Look at Revelation 13.
Now get that get that Jeremiah 23:5, you know, because it's gonna link that the strangers of his salvation, man. You know.
Come.
All right, this Jeremiah 23:5. It says, "Behold, the days come, said the Lord, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch,
Yep.
And a king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth."
And that's Yahushua, and that's speaking of this latter time, man, because he's finna reign, and now he's finna execute judgment and justice in the earth, man. You know, it's gonna be judgment for these heathens and the unbelievers of our people, but it's gonna be justice for the elect, man. You know, because the destruction of the wicked is our justice, man. It's their judgment, but it's the justice for the elect, man. You know, that's the Lord avenging his elect, man, as he spoke of, man. You see? But that's Yahushua coming in this time, because when he came, you know, the first time, all right, he didn't come, all right, to judge the earth, man. He came to be that sacrifice, man, you know, and to be that key cornerstone for this very gospel that we teach today, man. You see, but this time he coming to execute judgment, man. He coming as the executioner this time. He ain't doing no talking, man. All right, you gonna hear that cry like a travailing woman, and then it's a wrap.
I'll get this real quick.
You got it. We're gonna read down that Jeremiah, bro. You know.
This Luke 19:27. But those my enemies which will not that I shall reign over them, bring hither and slay them before me.
Yep. You know, that's gonna be you rebellious Israelites throughout the earth, man. You know, that's still not gonna want Yahushua to reign over you, man. You know, because you still got the good ship Jesus stuck in your mind, man. You know, well, them days over with, man. You know, we coming to a whole new era, man. You know, and the Lord is causing this place to crumble, man. You see, big moves being made, man. The oil prices is in the negatives, man. You know, and that's Esau trying to, trying to drain out Iran. But what that's gonna lead to, man? It's gonna lead to war, man. You see? So in World War III is the stage, it's setting the stage for our Savior to return, man. For Jeremiah 23:5 to be fulfilled, man. You know? You can read down to Jeremiah, bro.
All right, verse 6. Jeremiah 23:6. Yep. In his days, Judah shall be saved, and Israel shall dwell safely, and this is his name, whereby he shall be called, the Lord our righteousness.
Yeah, the Lord our righteousness, man. And it said Judah shall be saved, all right, and Israel shall dwell in safety, man. It's talking about all 12 tribes, man. Because in this system, our people not dwelling safely, man. Because people don't know what salvation is, man. You know, you got a Christian popped up. I ain't read it, but the Vegas brother, El Caracas, I did a response to it, you know, talking about this nigga gonna tell us that we don't understand what salvation is, nigga. You know? So our people show that they don't know what salvation is, because salvation is when you're delivered from harm or death, man. You know? So salvation is gonna come to the tribes, the elect of the 12 tribes, by the way of Yahushua. He's gonna deliver us from harm, and he's gonna deliver us from death, man. You know, and we gonna dwell safely. That's why in Isaiah 45:17 it said Israel gonna be saved with an everlasting salvation. That means we'll never have to worry about harm or death again, man. You see? You don't understand salvation, man. You know, you a Christian. How the hell a Christian gonna understand salvation when you want to save the people, all right, that's harming and killing your dumb ass, man? You got it, bro.
All right, verse 7. It says, therefore, behold, the days coming, say the Lord, that they shall no more say, the Lord liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt, but the Lord liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country.
Yeah, so this that second Exodus, man. So just like the all the tribes was in captivity under ancient Pharaoh, now we under captivity of the spiritual Pharaoh, man. All right, which is who? Esau Edom. He's the new Pharaoh, you know, and he doesn't have just possession, you know, of one land, man. He has possession of the world. Now, the majority of our people are over here in the Western Hemisphere, and particularly, you know, in North, South, Central America, you know, and that's where the major exodus is going to take place, man, especially here in America, you know. But our people are worldwide. It's going to be a global, you know, deliverance, man, you know. But that great exodus, all right, is going to be in America because America going to be getting bombarded with nuclear missiles, man. You see, that's why it's going to be that great deliverance, man. It's going to be right on time, man. You see, so that's the time that we in, man. You know, you got the revelation, bro.
Yeah, I got a precept too.
Okay, come on.
It's Micah 4:1. It say, but in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow unto it. You know, and that's the real new world order that's about to be established. That's the true new world order. You know, all this shit that's going on right now, you know, excuse my French, is just a hoax. You know, they attempting to establish their new world order agenda in the earth, but it's gonna fail miserably because Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is gonna come back and destroy this whole system that they got in play.
Yeah, it's a vain thing, you know, as the scriptures say in Psalms 2:1. The scriptures say, while the heathen rage, all right, and that word rage goes into what? Conspire or to plot, you know. Why do they rage and imagine a vain thing, man? The Lord not gonna let it come into its fruition, man. You know.
It says, and many nations shall come and say, come and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, and to the house of Yahweh power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. And you see in that land, you know, they not enforcing you know, the laws of the Most High in the earth. People not flowing under Israel, you know, over there in Jerusalem. You know, everybody's trying to go to war with you know, them Amalekites, you know, over there pretending to be the Israelites, man, you know, to be the real Jews. Verse 3, it said, and he shall judge among many people and rebuke strong nations afar off, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks, and nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. You know, like what we was reading earlier in Ezekiel and Isaiah. You know, all the prophets spoke the same thing, man. You know, so it's many prophecies that's written through the mouth of different prophets that's saying the same thing pertaining to Israel getting that land. And when you look at what's going on in the earth now with the people that's in that land, it ain't adding up to what's in the scriptures, man. You know?
Brother. Yeah, the prophecies, like I say, the prophecies are straight to the point, exact and detailed. You know, you can't get around the prophecy, man. You know, you can tap dance, you know, around the epistles in the New Testament, but when it comes to the prophecies, you know, it's straight and direct, man. That's why our faith lie, man, in the whole Bible, man. You know, and we get those prophecies, man.
Hey, and just to add to that point, brother, you know, it say that the spirit of Yahweh Shai is the testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy. And you know, even though it's a lot of parables and you know, it's a lot of dark sayings and in the scriptures, quite often when Yahweh Shai spoke, he spoke as plain as day. You know what I'm saying? He didn't leave any room for you to get the message twisted. You know what I'm saying? Unless the spirit just wasn't dealing with you, because he said out his own mouth who salvation is for. You know, Matthew 15, John 4. You know what I'm saying? And it's all throughout the New Testament who salvation is for, man. You know. You know, Acts, you know, you can hit all the gospels, you can go through the whole New Testament, man, and it's plain. You know, it's only for Israel.
Come. Matter of fact, you got brother got a revelation.
I got it, bro.
All right, hold it, but just to prove your point, y'all can none get Acts 24 and 14. You know, because this gonna cut everything, man. We can end with that revelation.
Come.
All right. This Acts, he said 24 and 19.
14.
24 and 14. It says, but this I confess unto thee, that
this
after the way,
because they like to run to the Apostle Paul epistles and try to include everybody. But listen to what the Apostle Paul say, man. You know, you got it, bro.
it says, but this I confess unto thee, that after the way which they call heresy, so worship I the power of my fathers.
Yeah, because what you had the Jews back then, they were trying to accuse Paul of heresy, which is preaching a false doctrine, preaching something that wasn't true. All right, that was against the scriptures. You know, so they called what the Apostle Paul was saying a heresy. So this is how the Apostle Paul defended himself. You know, go ahead.
It says, so worship I the Most High of my fathers, believing all things which are written in the law and in the prophets.
Believe all things which are written in the law and the prophets. And those Israelite foreigners was part, all right, of the prophecy, man. You know, so Apostle Paul, Apostle Paul knew about Isaiah 63 and 1. That's another thing. They act like the Apostle Paul didn't know about Isaiah 63 and 1. Who is that coming from Basra? You know, with dyed garments, you know, traveling the greatness of his strength. All right, mighty to save, man. You know, they're like he didn't know about that, man. You know, prophesy against Mount Seir. Apostle Paul knew all that, man. He believed it, man. You know, and he believed this, man. He get that revelation, bro.
This the book of Revelations, chapter 13, verses 9 and 10. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
Yep.
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
Yep. And
here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
And that's your justice, man. And that's what we patiently wait on, man, through faith, man. You know, the Lord gonna set everything right, man. You know, he gonna endow his men with the power to carry out judgment, man. You know, he gonna send his son back with all power to carry out judgment, man, and justice in the earth, man. You know, so we read about who led who into captivity, man. You know, so they got to be led into captivity, man. We read about who killed who with the sword, man. So they finna be killed with the sword, man. You know, according to the scriptures, man. So at the end of the day, all right, our people that worship this Christianity, they have no clue what's going on, man. You know, this is a Bible of prophecy, laws, and instructions, man. You know, not no really. You look at Christianity, it was just prepping the people for the new world order. You know, all inclusive. It showed no standard. You know, you couldn't judge anyone. All right, you can accept everything. You know, it set you up for the new world order, man. You know, and that's why he closed them churches, because he through with it, man. You know,
yeah.
Jesus, he sent Jesus home. He ain't essential no more. You know,
he quarantined too.
Yeah, that nigga non-essential now. You know,
Damn, man.
that nigga on the formula line through. Damn, G. Yeah. Well, but that was it. Y'all brothers had anything else?
You got
Okay, come well with it. You know, the water for all you brothers tuning in, listen. You know, the few sisters that listen. You know, the water, Lord willing. You know, everyone was edified. You know, and built up. You know, hey, we in the home stretch. You know, the Lord finna make everything all right. You know, we got to endure. You know, hey, pray for more faith, pray for endurance, pray for protection. You know, like move circumspectly. You know, but the Lord is finna set everything all right, man. You know, so with that, once again, give all praise and glory unto Yahweh.
Hour by Shem,
Yahweh,
Yahushua by Shem Kakadash.
you know, double honors to our apostles and our elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to us younger brothers. And peace and blessing salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom.
Shalom.